Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dine Dash virtual lunch series brought to you by uGO and University Circle Incorporated. My name is Annie Pease, and I'm the Director of Transportation at UCI. The Dine Dash lunch series will bring you a 45-minute virtual session on sustainable transportation topics. These sessions are being held once a month through August, and this is the fourth of 5 sessions. A little housekeeping before we get started here. As we present, please feel free to enter any questions you have into the Q&A box throughout the session. We will have Q&A with our speakers following the presentations, and that's the right spot for your questions. For those of you new to uGO, uGO is all about sustainable transportation. We have a website, ugointhecircle.com. It's the letters UGO, inthecircle.com, with information you need about getting to and around University Circle on all modes of transportation. During non-pandemic times, we host confident urban cycling classes, bike to work day events, and shared mobility demonstrations in partnership with our anchor institutions and community partners here in University Circle. We also issue a monthly e-newsletter to keep people in the loop on local transportation projects, service changes, upcoming events, and transportation resources available to you. Our Dine Dash series covers different modes of sustainable transportation available in University Circle and all across Northeast Ohio. Each session features a professional with expertise in that specific topic area. We are doing short presentations followed by a moderated Q&A, so those in live attendance can ask the presenters questions. We are also recording all of the sessions so that the information is available beyond our live date. And the sessions will be made available on our UCI's website following each presentation. So before we get started with today's sessions, and I will introduce our speakers, we do have a raffle drawing. At each Dine Dash session, we're raffling off a $20 gift card to an uptown restaurant, as well as $20 worth of scooter riding credits. So drum roll, please. I am excited to announce our raffle winner today is Rosetta Kimbrough. Ms. Kimbrough, congratulations. We will be in touch by email about claiming your prize. All right, so today's session is all about ride matching. One of the benefits of having a job in University Circle is that there are over 50,000 people who work within 1.5 square miles of where you work. As you've sat in traffic, have you ever wondered how many other cars on the road might be coming from the same direction as you? For the efficiency minded, do you ever wonder if we would all get to work a little bit faster if there were fewer of us on the road? Or for the financially minded, what if you cut down on the amount you are spending on gas as part of your commute? These are good questions, but how do we take the next step to actually find someone interested in the same things? In our session today, we'll walk through a new tool available to people who live and work in Northeast Ohio that brings us one step closer to a more efficient commute. The best part about the tool is that it's free to use. We'll also hear from a representative from the Cleveland Clinic who will talk about their carpool discount program and how the Cleveland Clinic, Ohio's largest employer, recently eclipsing Walmart in recent years, is really stepping up to the plate above and beyond just having the tool, but really taking the extra steps to make it an even more appealing option for their employees. See again, our next session for Dine Dash is on August 25th. We'll be talking about shared e-scooters with a representative from one of our scooter companies, as well as a representative from the city of Cleveland who oversees the program citywide. So check out the information at universitycircle.org/Dine-Dash. Don't miss our next session, again, August 25th. And for today's sessions, I'll introduce our speaker. Please keep in mind any questions you have throughout the presentations. Please drop those into the Q&A box. We will get to as many questions as we can during our moderated Q&A. So I'm very excited to announce our first speaker today. We are joined by Katie Moore, who is the manager for environmental planning at NOACA. That's an acronym for the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, which is the Cleveland area's metropolitan planning agency. So Katie, I'm going to turn the presentation over to you and take it away.
Thank you, Annie. So let me queue up my presentation. Just take a moment and we will begin. So as Annie shared, I am with the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, and I'll give you a brief summary of who we are and what we do. So we are a metropolitan planning organization, which most MPOs handle transportation planning, long-range transportation planning for large regions, metropolitan areas, and we also do environmental planning. So we do water and air quality planning. We do have a 45-member board of elected and appointed officials, and we represent 5 counties in Northeast Ohio. So our Ohio Commute program is part of our air quality program, our air quality division within our environmental programming. Ohio Commute is NOACA's trip planning and rideshare platform. So we do administer this program, and we were a part of it, its inception several years ago. So in 2017, the 8 MPOs from across Ohio came together and decided to be under one platform for ride sharing, which means that if you're anywhere in Ohio and you want to try to find a carpool, you can go to Ohio Commute and find a ride or trip plan. So Ohio Commute is a trip planning and ride matching platform. It is one tool that can be used for, I'll demo it in a little bit, for all the ways that, all the features and the ways that you can use Ohio Commute. It is focused on commuting behavior, so it's your daily to and from work behavior. You can use it for other reasons, say if you just need a one-time trip, or if you want to figure out the best bike route somewhere, you can use it for that, but we are focused on commuting. And it does offer multimodal options. So you'll see that in a minute when I do the demo. Our interactive maps, you can zoom in, zoom out. Again, I will demo that. There's a few different ways to use it depending on your comfort level with the different platform features. So to get to our website, you would type in Ohio Commute into Google and it would probably take you there. Or you can use our official website, which is ohiocommute.com/NOACA. Depending on which region you're in, you would be redirected to their website. So say if you are in the Columbus area, you may be sent to ohiocommute.com/MORPC. The first page that will be important to you is signing up. So the user registration page is fairly straightforward, but then it will ask you a bunch of questions that will populate your user profile. And this tends to be where people start to get tripped up. So I thought this is where I would start my demo. So I am going to stop sharing and then start sharing again. And I'm going to share the actual page and show you how to go through registration and then how to use the tool. So here I will begin sharing the Ohio Commute page. I can get a head nod that it is showing up. All right. So here is where you will land. So say if you were to Google or go to that .com address, you would land here. And this is our main dashboard page. It shows you all the various regions. So you can click and you would go then to their pages, but we're going to stay in NOACA because that is where we are sitting right now. And important pages here. If your native language is English and you want to move forward in English, you can move forward and with that. It's our default. But if your native language or your preferred language is Spanish, we do have that option as well. FAQs, in case you don't remember anything that I say today and you're on it and you're confused, click FAQ. It'll walk you through how to get started. We even have a nice video. And there's other videos and pages here that have more information in case you get here and you get a little intimidated. But here we're going to start with registration. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions to populate your profile. So starting with easy stuff, what you want to be called, what your email address is, and a password. It's going to ask you where you're located, where your home base would be or your point A, where your point B or work location is, who your employer is, which would allow you to be in a network, which I will explain in a little bit. And then what your average commutes are. Are you a 5-day-a-week commuter? What times do you normally commute? And how do you prefer to commute? Carpool, bike, telecommute. And then it has some other questions that may pertain to you. But I'll show you what that looks like when I'm in my user profile, since I already have an account. So I will close that. And once you make your account, you'll click to log in. Save your password because it's hard to remember all of them. And you will come to your dashboard. Every single Go Commute user has this dashboard. Mine has a few more items along the top because I am a program manager, so please don't pay attention to that. So here is where, if you go to your profile, this is the information that I was sharing with you. I think people like to know what you have to load in here in order to use it. So it will have things like your name, your email address, but also your phone number and your interests. So do you want a carpool? Do you want a bike pool? Because that will allow us to tailor different options, different emails to you so that you can start using it the way that you would like to. Here's that address, the various addresses, and then so that is your user profile. I also want to show what your public profile looks like. So this would only have whatever you would like it to be. Your first name is pretty typical, and then you can say something about yourself. Looking for carpool partners, flexible commuting, really want a bike pool, whatever that might be. This is where your commute is, which days of the week and which times, and then your preferences. And you can choose if you would want to be a carpool driver or a carpool rider, or if you have any other preferences specific to you. So if you want to be in a car with non-smokers, or if you prefer to ride with men or women. And I think that rounds out that part. Okay, now let's get into some of the important bits for people carpooling. When you sign up, you'll be asked to provide your employer, because what that will allow you to do is join a network. And you can choose to carpool, van pool with people just in your network or with anyone in the region. So you'll see that I'm a part of 2 networks. I'm a part of their regional network, and I'm also part of NOACA's staff network. And that allows me to do searches specific just to my coworkers, which is something that many people prefer. Another thing that people really seem to like using are our connected apps. So if you already track your carpool, van pool, or commute with one of these apps, say if you're a bike commuter, you might use Strava, you can have that app feed directly into Go Commute and have it track for you. So getting that stuff out of the way, let's share how we actually search. So if you go back to your dashboard, most people won't have a commute in this My Commutes area until after you have searched for one. So we'll go over here and I'll show you in this commute options, we will put in, so I will pretend that I have to go from Rocky River City Hall to my work location at NOACA. And I will say, show me how I can get there. View my commute options. So you see on this screen, the first tab that comes up is carpool. So that's what we'll focus on today. That's the focus of this Ridematching Lunch and Learn. This is an interactive map. So you can zoom in and see where people are in space around your start point. Zoom out, and you can also decide to scroll through. Important to this is also here at the top, you can start a carpool with these people, and that we won't do that now because that's a little bit more complicated because you have to put a lot more information in, but let's show here. So say you want to know who needs a ride. So if someone said they want to be a rider, you click rider and it'll show you those people. If there's already somebody who wants to be a driver and you just want to join their carpool, you click driver, and then you would be a rider in their carpool. And say we search in space. So the way that this is designed is it will show you their preference by how far away they are in time from where you are, which takes into account traffic, patterns, and other things rather than just distance. So say I would like to figure out more about Geraldine. So this tells me what days she carpools, what time she likes to go, and if she's willing to be a driver or a rider. So if I choose to try to go with Jocelyn, It shows me that we are both members of Northeast Ohio, just the NOACA network. She's not one of my coworkers. Shows me her details. And if I want to connect with her and try to take a ride, I say connect, and it sends her a message. You're not automatically signed up for the carpool, but it allows you to communicate with them to try to figure out if that would work for you. So that is your general search. And over here in the carpool tab, you can also, underneath, you can say that you only want to see people within your network. And this is where this becomes important. So if I only wanted to carpool with my coworkers, I would click NOACA staff. And that would show me, and unfortunately, nobody has a carpool right now. So that option would not work well for me. So that is the general carpool search options. And then the other one that we get often asked about are van pools. And so I know that there is one van pool that services downtown Cleveland to the Lewis Stokes Medical Center. And they do come from a distance outside of where I live. However, there may be an option for them to pick me up. So if you are interested in a van pool that you see listed, the way that this works is you would just need to send a message to the coordinator saying where you are and see if that might work for you. And van pools are set up a little bit differently, where many times you have to pay to join, as opposed to a carpool option that are often something where you work that out among the people in the car on given days or for given weeks. Other options that are available within our platform, which are beyond our ride matching, you'll see that we provide transit options for your carpool commutes or for your commutes to work. We tell you how long it would take to walk, which I don't think for me it would work out very well. And then your bike commutes and your drives. So let's go back to our dashboard. And we didn't pick anything, so that's why it wanted to make sure that I really wanted to leave. So back to our dashboard. So after we've figured out our commute and we've taken our commute, then it comes time to trip log. So this area of the dashboard allows you to put in where you went. So say I went from City Hall to my downtown location, and say I did that every single day, or I did that Tuesday and today. I'm going to say that I decided, and for each of these, you have to have a beginning and ending location. It defaults to what your carpool pattern is that you set with your profile and your times. So if you know that it's going to change in your profile, to change here. You do have to put in your distances, and all of these can be customized for every trip if you want to. And then the mode of travel becomes important. So this is what allows us to know how much CO2 was saved, put all your statistics in, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a second. So you would choose your mode. So say we carpooled for 2 days. It does log 2 trips per day, because that is on average what people do is they go to and from with the same mode. If you did not do that, you would click no return trip and you would do each trip separately. So you just click log 4 trips and you're done. You can do as many as you want all together, and you can go back in time pretty much as far as you would like to. We try to encourage people not to go forward in time because it can get confusing, but feel free to go and backlog. After you log all your trips, you'll see that this area of the dashboard shows your statistics. So this is putting together all of the travel that you've done and how many of them were alternative commutes. So carpool, van pool, bike, walk, transit. And it shows you basically all of your emissions calculations, your calories burned, any kind of positive impact on your well-being and the environment. And I'll show you what that looks like if you click. It shows every single trip that you've gone on when you did it, and you can download that. So some employers are using this, and I know Emily will get into this in a little bit, for how you can use the information that's generated in this platform for employee wellness programs, for incentive programs, for alternative commuting and carpooling. So there's a lot of powerful tools in here, and we are very happy to help anybody who would like to start using this and logging trips. NOACA does report all of the activity on Go How Commute to the state on a quarterly basis. We'd love to see more people using it. We'd love to see those stats grow. And if employers know ways that you would like to use it, and you don't see that here, please reach out to us. We are happy to assist both with users and with people tracking information on the dashboard. With that, I believe that I'm finished with my demo and I can pass it back to Annie to continue.
Great, Katie, wow, thank you so much. Excellent demo, lots of good information there. Up next, we have a presentation from Emily Szramowski, who is with the Cleveland Clinic. She'll be talking about specifically how the Cleveland Clinic incentivizes carpooling and uses the GoHio commute platform to do that. And Emily, go ahead. I'll turn it over to you.
Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. So yeah, we have a carpooling program at the Cleveland Clinic, and it's only in place at main campus in Fairview because those are the only two locations where you pay for parking. And it's been going on since 2009 when I looked back. So if you have 2 members in your carpool, you get half off whatever your fee is. 3 members, 75% discount on whatever your garage or lot fee would be. And then 4 members, it would be free. You do get preferred parking if you are part of a carpool. There's assigned spots in our garage that have signs that are, carpool only and everything like that. Once you sign up to join the carpool, you are all assigned to the same garage. So they switch you over if you were originally in different garages, different areas. We have 6 parking garages on main campus, so there's a lot of places to park. There are exceptions. You are allowed to each carpool 4 days a month, outside of your carpool. So let's say your schedule doesn't allow it. You're allowed 4 days a month outside of the carpool without getting any fees. Why did we decide for this? We wanted to make sure encourage more employees to carpool because obviously it's better for the environment and traffic, like Annie and Kate have already touched on. We also have climate goals. So this helps support our own climate goals and, helping our employees commute better and smarter and hopefully take some stress off too. So beyond climate and our own goals here. How? So like I said, this happened in 2009. So I was not working for the clinic when this was started, but it's a collaboration between my department, which is sustainability, and parking services. We had a lot of requests from different caregivers to get more information on how to get a carpool program started and how would they join a carpool. We encourage all employees to use the NOACA platform. We have 14 subsites, which I'll touch on the next one. Not just for caregivers that get the carpool benefit with the reduced parking, because a lot of our sites it's free to park, but getting everyone that is interested involved in carpooling. Caregivers were the ones who requested this. We basically got information from other companies around, other hospitals, and figured out what opportunities they had, what concepts they were using for carpooling or other ride sharing options. And yeah, we took out the parking services and we basically put together a survey and they figured out how to do the discount, and that's how the program got set up. So it's just a brief survey where you basically list your name, the other employees that will be in your carpool with their emails, and then you get signed up. It normally takes about 2 days to get signed up. So it's a pretty quick process for those people that are interested. Other resources. So like I said, we have 14 GoHio commute subsites, and subsites are just different facilities. So if you want to carpool to Cleveland Clinic Strongsville or Cleveland Clinic Beechwood, Fairview Hospital, Lutheran Hospital, if you don't work at main campus. So we're constantly adding subsites. So if you're ever on and see any other subsites need to be added, I'll get an email and I'll reach out to NOACA and go ahead and add that. We also have lead parking discounts. So if your car is ranked a green car, ranked with the green car program, you also get a parking discount. You can't apply that in the carpool together because it's just too greatly discounted and they need a way to pay for our garages and everything. But it's nice that they offer that for people because that's mostly clinicians that use that one. And it's mostly frontline workers that have used the carpooling discount. So it helps different groups, I guess. We also have a clean vehicle incentive program, which allows employees to get a one-time payment for buying an electric vehicle. So that's our carpool program. Let me look at my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yes, that is our carpool program. So we encourage all our employees to use NOACA, and it's great. The employees that use it seem to really enjoy it. The Clean Air Challenge is coming up, so we've just posted about that, trying to get more employees engaged because telework's available on that one. So we're hoping a lot of people will go ahead and use it. That's all for me, Annie.
Great. Emily, thank you so much. Thank you so much to all those in attendance. Feel free to enter your questions into the Q&A box. We'll move now into a moderated Q&A with both of our panelists. So I wanted to take a moment. Emily, you mentioned you are with the Department of Sustainability at the Cleveland Clinic. Could you talk a little bit more about that department? You mentioned climate goals. So what relationship does your department have with climate goals as well?
Yeah, of course. So we annually publish the UNGC report, which I can send a link to where our climate goals are posted. We're redoing them, but our most recent goal was carbon neutral by 2027. As far as air quality, that's also another area we work on. We have planted 5,000 trees since 2016, and we'll continue to keep planting more to help with particulate matter and everything like that, and stormwater and other issues, obviously. But our sustainability department is 6 people. I'm the admin program coordinator, John Utex, our senior director, and we work on everything from green buildings to healthier food for our employees and our caregivers, transportation, obviously. Greening the supply chain, so making sure everything we're purchasing is better for the environment. In a lot of community work, we do tree plantings and lot cleanups and all sorts of stuff like that. So a really dynamic department to work in.
Great, thank you. Katie, we have a question on, could you clarify how far retroactively can you log trips on the GoHio Commute platform? Very specific question.
That's Kate Menning, our outreach coordinator here for air quality. And so for our challenges, we do only allow people to go back 2 weeks in order to record their trips. But on the regular platform, you can go back as far as you would like and log trips. If you go past our last reporting date, it might kind of confuse our data though. So we do encourage people to trip log as soon as you take your trip or at the end of your work week so that our data stays consistent over time. So that's Kate reminding me to ask people to do it only 2 weeks prior so that we can keep our data current. Thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Katie. Emily, hopping back to the carpool program, do you have, you mentioned the program launched in 2009. Do you have any sense of usage and what percentage or how many employees are participating? And has it ebbed and flowed at any time, or has that been pretty consistent? Two-part question.
Yeah, it's definitely ebbed and flowed. At our peak, we had about 150 people signed up, which I think is pretty good. We have 25,000 caregivers. If you look at percentage-wise, main campus, it's just a huge place, and there's 3 shifts for EVS and nurses and doctors. So a lot of employees. So percentage-wise, very low. Definitely something we're working on encouraging more of, and hopefully we'll get more people signed on. But yeah, at the peak, it was 150. Last year, it was definitely low. And that was just because of COVID and people being fearful to be in cars and share spaces and everything like that. So it took a significant dip last year. And then like 5 years ago, there was a dip, but it's been pretty consistent, usually around 100 to 125 in the program on average. So small dips, last year being the most significant since we've had the program.
Excellent. Thanks, Emily. So this is a question for both of you, but in different ways. So on a program like this, with a platform that really relies on having a number of interested people signed up and they have their information in there ahead of time. You have to have enough people signed up so when a new person comes on to look for a carpool partner, that there would be other fish in the sea, right? So my question is, how do you get the word out about the platform? Katie, from NOACA's perspective, how does NOACA get that word out about the platform kind of footprint wide? And then Emily, same question, but specific to your institution.
So I can start with region wide. So we do a marketing and education campaign throughout the year, every year. We also couple that with challenges where we put posts on social media, we put information on our website, we partner with organizations throughout the region to promote people going to Go How Commute, finding out it exists, logging their trips, to get them introduced to the platform, get them registered, have them show up on the networks. From there, we also offer trainings to any employer that's interested, where we could come in during orientation. We could come in once a year and do an annual training just to remind people about Go How Commute. We also do our Commuter Choice Awards, which is aimed at employers, getting them to register with the subsite to create a network, and then encouraging their employees to use Go How Commute and get used to it for about a month during a challenge. And then we hope that they'll continue with us and do other challenges. That is what we try to do for the region. And then I can see if Emily can shed some light on what employers do.
Yeah, so communication here varies. Over the past year, COVID has been our main communication. So we haven't been able to push out many challenges or anything like that. That's coming back to standard, to normal. We have an intranet, which is just an internal internet, which we use to promote things like this. We also have a Connect Today page, which is kind of like an internal Facebook, but a little different. And that's just for Cleveland Clinic employees, where we've posted about the upcoming challenges, and we try to keep information up to date on there on our sustainability page about what caregivers can do and how they can get engaged. At Earth Days, we have fairs and stuff where we'll have NOACA come out and talk to people and hopefully get people to sign up. Parking Services also does like some transportation fairs and different stuff. So anytime we have any opportunity, we try to get that out there. We've also tried a little bit more grassroots efforts. We did a survey with Stack recently, and we tried to communicate with those managers more information about NOACA. A lot of our frontline workers don't necessarily need a computer when they're here during the day. So making sure they had access to one if they were interested in looking and getting that scheduled is something we've definitely been working on. And their managers have been very open to help with retention and making sure everyone's here timely and manner. So we've been working on that more, just working with EVS, food service, Redcoats, and a few other service lines to hopefully encourage more people to sign up. But yeah, communication around here can be a little much sometimes. So we try to make sure we get the channels we're getting directly to people who we know are most interested in this topic. And yeah, that's been our way to go about it, but it's varied a little bit. Sorry about the lights turning off.
Great. Thank you. Katie, you mentioned bike pool in your presentation. Could you talk a little bit about bike pool, what that is?
I would love to. This is something that we have not seen a lot of activity in our region around bike pool, but it is popular in other areas of the country where there's a lot of cyclists. And for the time of the year when the weather is good, or for some people, the weather's good all year, they would rather not be in their cars, but they still would like to travel with others for transportation safety reasons or for camaraderie. And so there are a growing number of people that are interested in traveling with others by bike. So we're trying to encourage bike pool, people meeting up at certain locations, and making that kind of the regular routine. It complements bike commuting and carpooling in a really interesting way. If you're interested in bike pool, or if you know anyone that would want to try out bike pool and marketing bike pool, please be in touch with us. I think all of us are looking out the window right now thinking today would have been the perfect day for a bike pool. So yeah, so that is what that, and you'll see that on when you register, or even when you're in your profile, you have the option to say if you're interested in bike pool, and that will let us know because we look at user statistics. But if you can reach out directly, that's even more helpful.
Great. As a pretty regular bike commuter to University Circle, I can attest that today was a good day to bike to work. And there's always safety in numbers with biking as well. So that's always reassuring to bike with a buddy, especially if you're just getting started. So it's a nice additional feature of that platform. Another question here, what do you think, what are the conditions that make for a good carpool? So what are the things in place? What things should be in place to cultivate a place where carpooling can really take off? Either one of you could take a stab at that question.
I think it's really having more people available on the platform, or more ability to match people. So the more folks that are in kind of the pool, say, for people to match to, that helps us to find where people can actually ride share. The less people that are using it, the less people that have visible profiles, the harder it is. The other thing that really helps is if you are somebody that has a very stable schedule. So if you have a shift schedule, or well, two ways. If you have a shift schedule, that really helps for you to become a driver to run a carpool. And if you have a flexible schedule, that could actually allow you to match to more types of carpools, or more options for carpooling. So, but what we are seeing is there's just not enough people in our system. So we're not being able to match as many people as we would like. Emily, I don't know if that's the same thing you found.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing we've talked about as a team is just like, should we encourage people to just have like, should we come up with common locations for people carpool from? Like maybe already existing park and rides or something like that. Does that make more sense rather than people feeling like they're going so far out of their way? Having designated locations off of 90 or 480 or 71. But how do you establish those and without good data? So do we go through HR and get data that way? But yeah, that's definitely one thing we thought about, because people feeling like, oh, I'm going 5 minutes out of my way to pick someone up. When are they really? And do we just come up with common areas to encourage people to carpool from? Has been something that we've discussed. But otherwise, I think you're exactly right. We need more people to be aware that this is a thing and sign up. And then just the shifts are very helpful, I think, at least for our employees.
Great. Emily, you mentioned in your presentation priority parking as well. Could you explain what that means?
Yeah, so priority parking is just close parking, easy parking. Our garages fill up pretty quick. So depending when your shift is, they can be full and you'll have to go all the way to the top, and it takes some time to get up there. So our carpoolers are right when you pull in the garages. There's 10 spots, 12 spots in each garage. It varies. And then there's around the bend another 10 or 12 spots. So just convenient, easy access parking, so you don't have to go searching a sign for carpool specifically.
Great. Great. Well, we have gotten to the end of our questions that have come in here. So I will ask, I'm put up both Emily and Katie's contact information on the screen here. But before we sign off, Katie or Emily, any concluding remarks for the group?
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. We are looking forward to this generating some more contacts for us within University Circle and the region more generally. If there's a way that we can help you get out of your personal vehicle and sharing a ride with someone else, we are open to suggestions. But thank you very much for the opportunity to come here and talk today, Annie.
Great. Thank you. To those on the line, consider myself, Emily, Katie, resources if you personally are interested in carpooling, finding someone to share your ride. If you are interested from the employer perspective on getting more employees into shared rides from either direction, Emily, Katie, and I are all resources there. And then last reminder, our next Dine Dash session will be August 25th, same time, 12 o'clock. And we hope to see you there. Thank you all very much for attending.